Alright. Me again, guys. Another video, another vlog. I'm doing 90s kids versus today's kids. I grew up, of course, you all know, I've seen it more than once, but I grew up in the 90s. I was born at the beginning of the era. I was born in 1990, that year. A lot of things have changed in the past decade or so, the past few decades. But the 90s, I was, reflecting on it. The 90s kids, we had a lot more morals than today's kids. We respected our parents. Our parents told us to do something, we did it. We didn't ask any questions because we were going to get smacked on the butt with a belt, or we were going to have to feel the wrath of our parents' hand, which I feared the hand worse than I did the belt with my mom and dad, because my dad had a firm hand. He was in the Army for 8 years, and when you're in the Army, you go through boot camp and all that, and they build your muscle and all this, and he used to lift a lot of weights and stuff, and he had a real, had a real strong arm, which gave him a real firm hand. And my mama, she just has a mean streak, so if she's going to tell you butt up, she's going to tell you butt up. She don't hold nothing back if she gets mad enough. But a lot of kids today, they don't mind their parents. They will backtalk and, they think they can do whatever. The mom and the dad, kids being 16 years old, mom and dad tell them, you better do this, that, and the other, and they'd be like, I don't have to listen to you, I can do whatever I want, go out and do all this, and the parents do nothing about it. My kids will be raised to mind me and respect me, and if needed, they will have a hand to the ass. I won't be afraid to do that. Hand to the ass, belt to the ass, either or, it's going to happen. My children will mind me like I minded my mom and daddy. I only got my butt whooped maybe not even a handful of times. I might have, in my childhood lifetime, I probably have gotten about 3 or 4 spankings, and that was about it, because I learned that mommy and daddy's hand hurt when it smacked my tail. So I learned not to, make them mad, give them a reason to spank me. Back in the 90s, the grudge era was really, really strong. So, there was a lot of emo kids, but nothing like it is today. Especially starting in the 2000s. When it hit about 2001, 2002, a lot of people really started turning emo, cutting their arms. People now, I know, personally, they're walking around happy people, changed lifestyles, were once emo with gashes all on their arms, slits and then marks across it, and they've got welts sitting like this on their arms. They're walking around with their scars, sitting there regretting it. And it's really stupid to be that way. Life is not that terrible for you to have to do that. Back in the 90s, yeah, things were bad, but people were still able. They were still able to do for themselves and their kids. And kids, they're taking that for granted now. What you get is what you get. You don't argue, because right now our economy is so shot. It's not even funny. We're owing trillions and trillions of dollars to China and all these different countries. But we owe money to countries, and we're spending money to help feed other countries, kids, and we have starving children, starving adults, homeless people. We can't even help them. We have older people that have no health coverage, and we can't even help ourselves. So today's kids really take things for granted. Money is a big issue in this decade. in this time. Back in the 90s, it was still pretty big, but a lot of kids appreciated what they got because they knew what they got is what they got. They knew that they could do without, and a lot of people had it harder than others. They knew that. And the way kids act today is so bad. Back in the 90s, people couldn't dance. White people especially. Thank God I'm not one of those white people. I can dance. But the Carlton became really big. This thing, that became really popular with us white people, and that was our cracker move. That was the bust a move. When people said bust a move, this whole thing came out, and we was all, I never did that. But the way kids dance today, I'm 22 years old, and I can dance the way I dance because I'm old enough to. If I attract a male that way, that's, so be it. I'm over the age of 18. But these kids now, I've seen 12, 13, 14-year-olds on YouTube twerking, shaking their asses all up in the camera, and I'm just sitting there going, that is so disrespectful to yourself and your parents. Because your parents probably raised you better, or trying to raise you better, and you're going to disrespect your parents like that. It's really, really disturbing. To see babies like that, 12, 13 years old, shaking their asses in front of a camera. And then getting, 25, 26-year-old males commenting on these videos and posting on these videos, damn, baby, you got a fine ass, I like to tap that. And then the children commenting back to them, telling them, oh, thank you, that's nice, I wouldn't mind it. And guys asking, how old are you? And they'll be like, I'm 19. No, you're 12, 13 fucking years old. You need to tell them you're 12, 13 years old. It's not right. It's very disrespectful. You're going to wind up with a child by the time you're 15 and ruin your whole fucking life. I know people like that. They're stuck in a rut and they can't even fucking get out. They want to go back to college. They want to do some other kind of work, but they can't because they've got a 5, 6-year-old child. Screw that. You know what? 9, 10-year-old child up in their house, putting them through school, getting them through 3rd, 4th grade, trying to make sure that they have what they need. Babies are expensive. Back in the 90s, you didn't see, children turning on video cameras on their phones and, camcorders and sitting there shaking their butt balls in the camera. You had respectable children. Sex was a pretty big thing in the 90s. But our parents tried to keep us away from that because they knew that that's trouble. My mom dropped out of high school and got married when she was 16 and had me when she was 18. And she knew, sorry for that, but she knew that if she didn't shield me from that I was going to wind up like her. No college, didn't finish high school with a GED, working at a convenience store, making not even $20,000, $10,000 a year. She didn't want that for me. She didn't want that for my sister. She didn't want that. But it's just now these kids and today's kids are just so different, and the things that these children do today are just terrible. I mean, back to the whole 12, 13-year-old children shaking their rump on camera. I have a best friend and her daughter's 10 years old, and I think I'd have to shit a chicken if she turned 11, 12 and started doing that stuff. I wouldn't even be able to believe it because that's my, she's like my child, she's my baby, and I couldn't watch her do that. I'd have to say something about that. Because I don't want her winding up pregnant at 15 and having to drop out of high school and get her GED to take care of a child. I don't want that to happen. these kids today are just they're crazy. There's gonna be another video. There's gonna be another segment on this one. Just letting y'all know. I will see you in the next video.